Today, I want to dive into a recovery technique and tool that has been around for thousands of years, but more recently has been making a huge comeback in the fitness world, and that is cupping. If you've ever seen someone walking around with giant hickeys all over their back and shoulders and what looks like they got caught by an octopus, what it actually probably means is they're taking their recovery and pain management very seriously. So today I want to explain how cupping works, how it feels, when you should use it, and whether it's worth it or not for you to bring your recovery and injury rehab to the next level. So what is cupping? Well, according to Google, it's been around for about 5,500 years. It dates all the way back with ancient Chinese practices, all the way back into some ancient texts that I don't even know how to pronounce. It's been around for a long time for people to be able to manage pain and injury recovery, and some people even claim lymphatic drainage. Cupping is basically the opposite of getting a massage. When you're getting massage, you're actually compressing, you're pushing into the muscle. When you're cupping, you're actually pulling the skin and the fascia away from the muscle that allows more blood flow to get through to that area, clearing up inflammation and pain. So how does it work? Well, number one, that suction increases local circulation. More blood flow equals more oxygen equals faster recovery. Number two, it actually helps loosen up the fascia that's surrounding the muscle. So whenever you're training or you have an injury or something's going on where you're not stretching properly, you're building up that super tight fascia, and the cupping is going to help release that, which will increase movement and mobility. Number three, it actually may stimulate, this is something I was reading, it may stimulate nerve endings to trick your brain into essentially not feeling the pain in that area anymore. So it is kind of a bit of a placebo, I guess you might say. But it actually does stimulate those nerve endings. It can relieve pain in that way. And this is called the gate control theory of pain. And like I mentioned before, it's also thought in certain countries and ancient practices that this helps increase lymphatic drainage as well, especially if you've got inflammation and puffiness in like a certain area. So how does it feel? Well, to be honest with you, it really doesn't hurt that bad. I would say that sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, especially if the area that you're working on is super tender and sore or even injured. When I use cups, I definitely feel that pressure and that pull on the skin. You can definitely feel it drawing the skin and the fascia away from the muscle. And sometimes I'll get like a bit of an itchy feeling. It is kind of weird, but it's definitely not painful for the most part. Afterwards, you are going to be left with those red marks. They're not bruises. It's essentially just stagnant blood being pulled to the surface of your skin. They usually fade away within a few days. Could be anywhere from red all the way to like dark purple. I actually not sure if that means that, that's like a bigger problem area depending on the color after you're done. But typically when I hit an area that is like really beat up, like my lower back, or if I have shoulder issues, like I tend to have, those areas will be like dark purple, whereas the lower problem areas will be like a lighter red. So when should you use cupping? Honestly, the whole way that I found out about cupping was by injuring my lower back really bad. I thought that I had slipped a disc. I could not get out of that horrible sciatica pain on both sides. Couldn't lay down flat on my back, couldn't get a massage. Like I got a massage and I was nearly crying because it hurt so bad. If anybody has ever had sciatica before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was awful for 5 days straight. Couldn't find a doctor that could do anything for me. I ended up going to a physical therapist, and he used the cups on my back and had me do some dynamic movements with them on to help relieve that pain, pull the fascia away from the muscle, and pull all of that scar tissue away. So when you should use it, personally, I would not use it at home on your own on like an acute injury. Like if you're really hurt, go to a doctor, go to a physical therapist, have them do it if it's something that they actually prescribe to you. But ways that you can use it on your own at home, things like post workouts if you're feeling super tight, or even pre-workouts if you feel like you want to loosen up an area. One area that I have been working on recently while I golf is the first few swings of the morning, especially when I tee off super early. My left shoulder will always pop like 4, 5, 6 swings in a row. My left shoulder is popping, and it definitely feels uncomfortable. A few weeks into that, I pulled the cups out, put them on. 30 minutes later, take them off. I have those dark red spots on my skin. Next time I go golfing, not a single pop. And it's like 6 a.m., not super warmed up. shoulder didn't pop once. So even using it before you go out and do, certain exercises or activities like golfing or tennis or pickleball would be super helpful to loosen up the muscles and actually increase mobility and blood flow in that area as well. So what I like about it and what I don't like about it, pros and cons here. What I love about it is that, first of all, it pulled me out of that insane back pain. That was the one thing that we did that really relieved that back pain for me. And I still, to this day, from that one injury, have some lower back issues, but cupping will always relieve that problem for me. Even if it is just temporary, it will be 2-3 weeks at a time before I need to do it again. So cupping, I believe, really pulled me out of a pretty serious lower back injury. On top of that, just increasing blood flow, increasing mobility. It's super easy to do at home by yourself. Like all you need is some lotion and the cups. They're less than $20 on Amazon. And this actually pairs really well with stretching and while you have them on. So typically I'm not just sitting with them on, I'm actually moving around and I'm increasing the blood flow to that area to be able to pull it out, get that oxygen into that specific area to increase recovery. And a few cons that we have with cupping, to be honest with you, there's not many. Most of it is just feel and look and results sometimes. So obviously it feels a little weird. That's number one. That's one con for it. It feels a little weird. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, especially if you actually are injured. It can be pretty painful. The way number two, if you're going to the beach anytime soon, someone's going to ask you if an octopus got a hold of you. Guaranteed. Someone's always going to make a comment. So that's number two con. Very small things there, not a big deal. Number three, though, the results being like varied. So, this isn't a fix-all. This is not a physical therapist. This is not a doctor. This is not like a detailed consultation to figure out exactly what's wrong with your body. You, as someone who is not necessarily a fitness professional or a physical therapist, is feeling something, pain, tightness, whatever it may be, and you are using a at-home recovery tool to try to fix that. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be working all the time. It's not a magic pill, but in my experience, anecdotally, it actually has helped me a lot, and it's something that I've incorporated into my routines weekly. So results may vary, but I've had nothing but a great experience with it. So final thoughts, overall, cupping, is it a magic fix? Absolutely not. It's not going to fix all your issues just with 1 or 2 sessions or even 1 or 2 sessions every single day. It's not a magic fix. You're not a physical therapist unless you are one. You're not a professional unless you are one. You're not a doctor unless you are one. So understand where you're at. Understand that you may not know the root cause of the issues that you actually are having in your body, and you may need to go to a physical therapist or a doctor to find out what the root issue is. But for an at-home recovery tool, I personally love it. I've gotten a lot of benefit out of it, and that's why I wanted to make this video, is to be able to share my experience with you guys and share how important it has been for me, my movement, my body, my recovery, literally everything. I believe that cupping is a huge save for people who have like minor tightness, soreness, minor little joint issues, like I had mentioned with the popping in my shoulder, without having to go to a physical therapist and spend hundreds of dollars, or a doctor or a clinic and spend all of that money. You can spend $20 on Amazon and get these cups and probably fix it yourself. Either way, I would love to hear from you guys. If you've experimented with cupping before, if you've never heard of it before, if you've used it and it didn't work, comment down below your experience with it and what you were looking forward to using it for in the coming future. I'm trying to grow this channel as much as I can. I'm doing fitness content, I'm doing Garmin content, I'm talking about philosophy, and I'm doing golf, and I'm doing workouts and everything in between, just basically things that I'm interested in. So if the things that are interesting to me are interesting you, then I just said that I said it 2 wrong ways. If the things that are interesting to me are also interesting to you, there you go, Seth. Give me a like, subscribe, follow on my upcoming videos. I'm definitely going to be pumping out quite a bit of content in the next few weeks. So hopefully it's entertaining for you guys and informative and sometimes inspiring. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.